What's up, everybody? This is A7X Van Ben, and welcome to Pirates with Ben, blog number 71. I didn't realize it had been like a full year since I did one of these, but it's a good time to jump back into it because there's definitely some news to talk about. The first being that there's a tabletop simulator for Pirate CSG, as a lot of you probably already know. Julm and some others, such as Dododai and Ard, and others have collaborated to bring Pirate CSG to Tabletop Simulator. There was already kind of like a small scale unfinished mod for it, but this one looks a lot better and has already seen a ton of work on it. So this is really exciting. I checked it out. I haven't played a game on it yet, but I checked it out for the first time the other day. It looks really cool. It's my first time using Steam really for any actual game playing, and first time using Tabletop Simulator. It's like $20. But you can also find it on some third-party websites outside of Steam for less if you look around a bit. So yeah, it's really exciting. There's a lot of stuff that's happened with it. I'm really grateful. I just want to have a huge shout out and huge thank you to Julm and others that have done all the like technical side of things and the texturing for the models and getting different game pieces into it, things like that, and making it really come to life. Very exciting. And hopefully we'll see more players playing online, because I know a lot of people don't like the Vassal module and how it's like top down and two-dimensional, not as faithful visually and not as visually appealing as the original game. So this will be a lot more realistic looking compared to what people play in the physical world. So very exciting. You can see the numbers have spiked on it. I've certainly bookmarked this page. We'll certainly be playing around with it more and playing soon, hopefully. So huge thank you to everybody who's contributing to that. Still work being done on it. So really exciting. Super grateful that we have technical experts in the community that can make things come to life on a computer like this. Because I don't have the skills that would be able to do this. Maybe I could figure it out, but it would take me what's taken other people, dozens of hours or whatever, or quite a lot would take me like at least 1,000 or more. So very grateful for that. So thank you. Everyone's contributed. I highly recommend checking it out. I already see 440 people current subscribed to it on Steam, so that's cool. 31 favorites. So anyway, awesome thing to monitor going forward. And hit me up if you want to try playing a game on there. And somewhat related to that, the Scan Project. Anybody can contribute to the Scan Project. This was started by Thunder Brothers 99 of the Discord. And I want to specifically highlight that he updated the master scan list in May of this year. So that one is up to date. So you can check out which ships and cards have not been scanned or which have, things like that. And he is currently working through a lot of scans. So a huge thank you to Thunder Brothers 99 as well for contributing to that. That's helping bring models to life in the Tabletop Simulator mod, and is also just an awesome project to document the game, and is really useful for 3D printers as well, people that 3D print the ships and make replicas, things like that. And another thing, I started making notes for this vlog back in December of last year, so I might as well just hit all the bases. I want to shout out Luke Menzie for coming up with this cool idea where you use a stern turn to get a little bit of extra movement on things like schooners, longships, anything that can move on a stern. There's basically a way to like move and then you stern turn for some extra movement. So it's an interesting thing. I'll leave a link. I'll make sure I include links to all this stuff as well in the description below, so you can check out the various things that have been happening and the different news items that I'm talking about. This is just something that I don't know if it's come up before. Probably somebody at some point was doing it or thought of it, or maybe it was mentioned at the old WizKids forums, but I had never thought of it. So big ups to Luke for bringing this kind of strategy to light, or this little, not so much strategy, but this movement tactic to get a little bit extra out of the ships that can stern turn. So really cool. I love when things like that come up in the 2020s, like long after the game has been out of print. Really cool to see anything new really for this game. It's just really exciting. It's like, wow, it's 2022 and people are still finding this stuff out. So it's really neat. And on that note, there's also been some discussion in the Discord probably a few months ago about the being able to ignore terrain when you're overlapping fog to shoot before you get sucked into the fog. So Wolf did rule that illegal. So that one's not on the table literally. So unfortunately, that one's not gonna work with the rules, because as soon as once you overlap the fog bank, you get sucked in. It ends the move action. You can't just shoot and then end the move. It's a little confusing based on like the wording of the rules. But Wolf ruled it illegal, which I think is probably good, especially based on what some people were saying about how it can be overpowered or like a really good strategy to use. And of course, we can still do the thing where you get an extra action move, and then with a ship that has reverse captain, shoot, and then use reverse captain to move into a nearby fog bank right after the shoot. So you can still do that. It just takes a little more. It's a little less efficient. Normally you'd want Micron or Del Flote to get an extra action, or of course the ship has an extra action ability generator or a sack or whatever on there. You could just use the ship for it. So anyway, still a viable strategy, just not with that kind of little bit of a loophole workaround. I thought it would work, but yeah, a little too good to be true. So that's fine. And just earlier today, actually, on June 10th, Mr. Gladius from Gladius Games released his newest Pirate CSG price tracking list. So this is really awesome. Huge shout out to Matt for doing this, and a thank you for continuing it, because this is just super valuable for collectors, buyers, sellers, everybody, just to see what things have gone for. And I don't like to track everything, so I'm glad he is. Or at least tracking like a ton of stuff. I just watch the auctions, and that's what my eBay price history spreadsheet has always been for. And I don't really plan to expand it beyond auctions, especially now that Gladius is doing this. So I just track auctions, but this has like way more than that. So this is really cool. And it's got like all the recent stuff. So this one is through essentially the first 5 months of the year through June 8th. So pretty crazy. I'm not going to go through all the numbers now. I'm hoping to get with some of the super collectors on a podcast in the future, where we'll definitely talk about price histories and how things have gone up, or kind of different trends on different items and stuff like that. But right away, you can see like average price of a Guichan, like over $200. Bachuan's up to $130. I remember when that one was averaging like 50 or sometimes less quite a while back. Delusion, despite the plunder pack on sale at Hills, still going for about 55 on its own. So a lot of crazy stuff, and interesting prices. Shoes Yuan, I'm seeing is pretty cheap compared to some of the other ones. Oh no, those are just for the single cards. That's not for the whole ship. Never mind. Yeah, of course. Anyway, so a lot of fun stuff to look through. And yeah, so I won't spend too much time on that, partly because I'm actually going to go through my eBay watch list, which has currently, I'm about to delete a ton of stuff now that I'm finally going to go through it. I've been waiting to do this blog for a while because I really wanted to review eBay carnage and frenzies of the past few months. There were a ton of eBay auctions that ended in like April and May of 2022. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of rare stuff, a lot of expensive stuff. So I'm just going to go what I think is reverse chronological order, like oldest to newest. I think there's 247 items in my eBay watch list right now, which is definitely more than I've ever had before. Usually I try to keep it below 50. And usually I can easily because there's not that many Pirates auctions, but this has a lot of the past stuff that ended in the past 2 months or less. So I'm just going to go kind of zoom through it. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so it's kind of fun to see it. I've seen most of these already, but anyway, so like Mysterious Islands, super, so they weren't super rares, but anyway, so like the 3 subs with like the linked crew, $113 just for those. I'm not going to mention all of them, but Grand Dynasty at 56. I think the 6 Masters have actually come down a little bit in the past like 2 to 4 weeks. I've seen some for less than that, so that's kind of interesting. DJC Flying Dutchman for only $650, that's pretty good. Guichuan for $111. It's not punched. That's pretty solid actually for a Guichuan. Spanish Marine factory set $255. SCS factory set $1,136. So pretty crazy. Shows that South China Seas is still up there with the best of them for most expensive set. Although later on we'll see a little bit of a weird one where it went for a lot less than Frozen North. So, and then Thane Heartless. That's not the one I bought. That was sold before the one I won. 31 for that one. Slipstream for 71. So that's pretty wild, considering that's only one of 4 game pieces in the Mysterious Islands Message in a Bottle pack. Pretty crazy. I actually won that Spanish main lot for 15. Yeah, I won that one. A few of these I'll have won, not many, not the expensive stuff. MI Super Rare Pack 126.50. Some rare subs, not even the LEs, but some rare subs for over 20. Sending Constructible for 26. That sounds about right, given how great she is in the game. Let's see. Just going to go through some of these. Some of the Rise of the Fiends SD box ships for like between 10 and 20 makes sense. I won some of the treasure cards for between like 10 and 20, so I was happy to get some of those. Yeah, I won the Grape Shot, Soulmark, Tabby Cat, as I like to call her, Tabitha McWarren, 605. Garante for 275. That's a pretty good deal. So one thing I found interesting with this that I think did play out to some extent was that there were so many incredible auctions and highly sought after items ending all in the same week or in the same day that some stuff inevitably kind of slipped through the cracks or maybe went for less than it would have gone for if it was selling outside of that crazy like frenzy window where people were having to put down a ton of money for a chum maker, and maybe they didn't go after the rares as much. And then I was similar to other buyers though, where like I purposely didn't go after the big stuff because I was hoping for stuff to slip through the cracks, which some stuff did, but a lot of stuff just kind of went for like what I kind of unsurprising prices. So yeah, but the Grante for 275 is definitely nice. And Scry and Bloody Throne, I won those two actually, and a couple of these other Spanish main ones. Yeah, I won some of that smaller stuff to get those off my wants list, which was nice. Ocean's Edge, super rare, is not too valuable. Roanoke for 26, I think that was the one I won. Let's see what else we got here. Constitution for 380, that's a good deal. How good she is in the game. Grim the Savage for only 550, I think that's a good deal, personally. Especially for how versatile he is as a crew. He's the only Home Island Horde crew in the whole game. So, Gale Force 9 for only $10, that's pretty decent, actually. I would say a German lot, pretty rare, went for 31. And then here's some stuff slipped through the cracks. So like the special edition Sea Lion from Ocean's Edge, not from South China Seas, confusing card color, but anyway, that one for 1 cent. So yeah, definitely some deals to be had, kind of just few and far between, in my opinion at least. Obviously, my opinion is really pretty flawed too. I collected mostly during the like buyer's era of like 2009 to 2014. I bought like a good majority of my like play collection or first collection between 2011 and 2014. So some of these modern prices are just still pretty crazy to see. I've gotten used to it, but some of it's still pretty bonkers to me. All right, so we got some Fire and Steel 5 Masters for like 5. Actually, this is already. Oh, this is way off. Huh. Oh, it reset the number of items per page. Those are still going on. I don't know why it did that, but it's probably just like on the page for too long or something. Let me see if I can reset it properly. All right, 100 items per page. So then there's only 3 pages to click through. All right, back to it. Yeah, so you go Force 9 for 16. It's already more than that $10 one we saw earlier. Another Delusion. The Frozen North tournament kits, we're always going to go for a lot. Over 100 for all 3 of the ones I'm seeing here. So yeah, Baba Yaga. That one went for 115.50. So no surprises really. BC Crew. I'm kind of always surprised by how much those go for because they're like proxies by definition or by default, and they're just cardboard. But anyway, those have gone up quite a lot. I remember you could get those for $1 to $5 or less. Yeah, less, like $1 to $3 each. But anyway, I won the Booty Finder and the GF9 token lots. Finally got those, which you'll see in my other video. Kraken for 37, Bouchin for 93. All 4 Krakens from Caribbean for 114. It's not too bad. So that'd be like a little under. Yeah, it'd be like a little under 30 each. So the historical Fire and Steel pack for 71 sounds about right. Seems reasonable. Chum Maker was a big one. Went for 305. I don't know. It's not really that surprising, really. I was kind of more surprised by the Spectre. I was kind of excited that one got to 250. I was lucky to get a couple Spectres in like 2020, 2021. Or yeah, I guess 2021. And I got kind of, one of them was lucky. that Whole Ferns gave to me. And then the other one was like in that lot with the 2 Raptor Moths and the Rise of the Fiends factory set, so I got kind of lucky on both, I guess. But kind of exciting to see such an interesting ship, one of only a couple glow-in-the-dark ships in the game, get up to 250, so pretty wild. 250 for a Spectre. Polaris, 110.50. Yeah, we're getting into some of the crazier stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, 110 for a single icebreaker. It's pretty wild. It is from the Frozen North, that LE pack, but anyway. The Wallace, let's see what we got here. Regent, Elsinore for 65. Baba Yaga went up to 89. So I know a lot of people were looking for that one. Rise of the Fiends factory set, 300. Seems about right. That's got the LEs and everything that are pretty hard to get. So, and then Rise of the Fiends. This is kind of fun, dude. To kind of like extrapolate prices. I mean, one auction for each doesn't mean that much, really. But yeah, like for Rise of the Fiends full set. But then it doesn't have like the SEs and the LEs that the factory set lot has. So it's kind of interesting to extrapolate LE prices based on that. So, Parent Steel. Base set went for almost 250. Let's see what else we got. DGC SR is 102. Oh, this surprised me a bit. Caribbean Supers for almost 200. That was kind of wild to me. Because we'll see. I think we'll see the base set go for like less than 100 later or something like that. I think we'll see it. So that's a lot. I don't think I've seen the Caribbean SRs go for that much. So I'm kind of used to those going for maybe like 80 to 120 maybe, so it's quite a bunch, it seems like to me. Again, take all my opinions with a grain of salt, and feel free to leave your own in the comments too. What you expected to go for more, what you expected to go for less, or what kind of shocked you in a good way or a bad way, or if you kind of got away with some deals that fell through the cracks, if you know what I mean. Oh, okay, so the base set went for like the base set went for like the same price as the Supers, which is still kind of interesting. So I guess that's fair, especially the base set. Let's see, Caribbean, Spanish Main. That's pretty. I like this deal. That's pretty solid. Like $1 per game piece basically for Spanish Main base set. I like that deal. I was in on that until probably 120. I may have been the second to last bidder. Crimson Coast up to the Roanoke for 182.50. I like that too. Crimson Coast is an amazing set. I think that's a pretty solid price. I like that price. Minnow for 56.55. Yeah, some of these LEs are just really tough to find, so it's fair that they go for this much. It's just, especially when they're like mediocre ships, it's harder for hardcore players like me to justify spending that much. It's kind of iffy. It's like, yikes. A Fearsome Creature for 51.65, quite a bunch. Kind of funky that sells for more than the Kraken, but yeah, just kind of the random whims of eBay. The Kraken itself went for 71, so whoever got that deal on all 4 Krakens for like 114, that's pretty solid in this day and age with the Krakens going up in price. So another Guichuan, another Delusion, Nox for 21.25, Nautilus and Captain Nemo, that linked combo for 72. So that's a lot. Alligator for 49, Dungeon for 26, kind of a deal, I guess, compared to the other LEs from Davy Jones' Curse. Most of these went for under 50. It looks like all of them pretty much. So yeah, not too crazy. Howl for 51. Yeah, I was in on the Denver for a while. I might just 3D print that one. I want to say my max bid was either 60 or 65. I was close. I just couldn't justify more. I don't know, man. It's tough. That's one I've wanted for a while, and I know that used to sell on eBay. I want to say like 2011, 2014. I definitely have some data entry points on my spreadsheet for like $1 or like $5 on the Denver, but I missed out. I thought it was more common, I think. So now that it's not that easy to find, let alone cheap, I didn't really know that was going to happen. So, oh well, I might just 3D print that one. We'll see. Unlike the Ovago promo, which is still common. So, then we got some Mysterious Islands LEs going in that like 25 to 50 range. The Renard up at 55. I think that was leading the pack. Most of them went for like 41. Probably the same buyer. Oh, this was weird. Yeah, Flegius, however you pronounce it, 94. It's pretty wild. And these are not good ships for gameplay. I know that doesn't matter, but in this case, but it's just still a little bit wild to me. Yeah, most of them went for like 40 to 50 for MI stuff. Another MI SR set 83. The Mercury by itself 7350, only a tiny bit more than Slipstream. And then oh yeah, see this is where it gets wild, because that other Slipstream we saw was 71, and then here's one for 16. So it just it's just hard to predict. So yeah, I won Thane Heartless, and I won these two, Thane Heartless and the Abandoned Crew, because I have a Mercury and I have a 3D printed Slipstream. So these were the last two I needed for that little pack. So I was happy to get both of those. The MI Abandoned Crew was like just about my number one priority. Denver was up there with it, but yeah, I had a pretty high bid on the MI Abandoned Crew. So not triple digits, but yeah, I was going to win that one. It looks like. So South China Sea is base set for only 500. So yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't include like everything that comes in the factory set, but that's still a pretty good deal. I mean, this is kind of what I mentioned earlier. Like Frozen North went for almost twice as much for the base set. So that was one of the most shocking things to me out of this whole thing, because South China Sea is pretty much always more expensive than Frozen North. I know Frozen North has skyrocketed in the past, like since COVID or whatever, but this was still really surprising to me. So to the point where I would say it's a pretty darn good deal on South China Sea, especially because we saw the factory set of SCS at 1136. So yeah, pretty solid. Just kind of breeze through some of these. Oh yeah. So my pick for number one most shocking is definitely the Frontier for 112.50. So I saw this. This was at that same amount, like pretty early too. Like I want to say it had like multiple days left. So just kind of a freak outlier. This is just bizarre. I don't know. And people on Discord were talking about this too. Of course, Discord was a fun time. I missed some of that, but this is just wild. 112.50 for a hoist. It's not the Maui's Fish Hook. It's not the super rare. It's just like a rare hoist. And knowing some of the deals I got on Savage Shores back in the day makes this seem even more absurd. And yeah, you see the Buscador 16. That's pretty fair. Hoists are really good in game. Savage Shores has become quite a bit more scarce past like 5+ years, but 112.50 for a Frontier is definitely. I would say that's still probably my number one pick for most shocking here. Yeah, Frozen North, like a bunch more than SCS, is pretty crazy too. And the Spectre for 250, that was more than I expected to go for, but Frontier for 112.50 is just tough to beat. That's wild. And 40 bids is a ton of bids, so that was a wild one. Barbary Coast SR set for 113.50. I think I was in on that pretty late. But let's see, Terex, both of those, basically both going for 31. Native canoes have gotten really expensive too. I mean, you're looking to pay on like $5 to $10 per canoe, so it's kind of interesting to think about. Soul Crusher for 76 is quite a bunch. Speedy, I don't think I saw this one, or at least barely. Speedy Return for 61. Beowulf is a really good ship. Yeah, that was a nice looking lot there. Cannibal King, Mirage. Yeah, Savage Shores 10 Masters. Yeah, American Canoes for 53. That's $10, almost $11 per canoe. Let's see. Loki's Revenge. I was wondering this one was going to go bonkers, because so many people in the Discord were hyping it up. It's like a ship they really wanted, or one of their favorite curse ships. I was like wondering if this was going to be one of the crazy ones. Like if I was going to predict what would be the most shocking, I think this or Baba Yaga would be like my bet to go for like 300 plus. So I actually kind of thought this one would have gone like totally out of control with like a three or 4 person bidding war or something like that. So overall, it's actually less than I thought it. That was one of the few. This is like one of the few game pieces in this day and age, or auctions nowadays in the 2020s, where it went for less than I expected to. Usually stuff just goes for more than I would have ever dreamt of. But yeah, I won that Silver Explorer, the French one. I don't have all the Frozen North LEs yet, so it's just a random crew. So pick that one up. Dharma for 36. Yeah, Loki's Revenge was interesting. I was kind of sadistically hoping it would go for some ludicrous amount just for kicks. It's one of my favorite cruise ships too, but I just find it kind of funny sometimes what some of the stuff goes for. Mysterious Islands, another MI SR pack. I think that was the highest of the three. Then another Frontier for 54. So Frontier is in high demand for sure. All right, let's get through this. There's so many. Zeus for 221. Let's see. Oh, this was a lot. Davy Jones Curse, SE box chips. I know those are the more rare. I'm pretty sure of the four, that's the more like rare quartet, if you will. But 30 per Four Master is still quite a bunch. So, and yeah, you can see the other ones going for like eight each, essentially. 32 over 4. 3 DGC Elise for 64. Not bad. It's only like 21 each. Kalmar for 44. Black Bart going for 51. This was one that surprised me. I thought the Queen Anne's Revenge would sell for more, for sure. Like maybe in like the 40 to 80 range. So 20 for that seems like a solid deal. Blackbeard Linked Crew went for 44, so I guess that inflates it, especially the same seller. Yes, in general, I thought the Fire and Steel historical pack stuff would go for more, or would be in like higher demand. So kind of interesting to see. RV Factory set. Okay, at 130. Let's see. Just some random Motion's Edge stuff. Yeah, the OE Super Rare Pack is probably the cheapest at this point. At one point, the Rise of the Fiends one, I think, was the cheapest, but it looks like OE's probably got that title now. Sea Duck, Sea Phoenix, Eastwind. Boost Galore for 1350. Yeah, Mysterious Islands Booster Pack lot, 330. Not too surprising. That's in high demand. It's got a lot more scarce. The Crusher for 40. That's kind of expensive for that one. Then the rest of the Super Rare Pack going for about 20 from the same seller. And then here's the like the Six Masters I was talking about that have actually gone down in value a little bit, or at least in prices for auctions. So Six Masters under 40. I don't know. I haven't seen that in a little while. I feel like these have really blown up since COVID. So Grand Mountain, Grand Path going for a little bit less than I would have thought. The Woden for 36. Seems kind of high, but I don't know. Cheyenne Longship for 67. Really showing how pricey Frozen North has gotten. It's pretty wild. Super Rare Black Pearl for 37. Rest of the Super Rare Pack kind of less. Makes sense. But yeah, if you add those up, I mean, it's going to be a lot less than the 178 or whatever we saw earlier. It'd be like 57 and 20. So yeah, close to like 80 total, for example. So less than half of what the getting it all together sold for. So kind of interesting. I was in on the Phoenix. Still need that one. Neptune went for more, actually. This surprised me a little bit. Fire and Steel Super Rare Pack for 105.50. Definitely more than I've seen it go for in general. Here's a Caribbean SR pack. So it looks like, yeah, this kind of makes it look like the 178 was an anomaly. That one kind of just blew up a bit. So breeze through these. Nagling for 26. One of the pricier commons ever, I guess. Some Frozen North. This is a good deal. Frozen North UTs. 4 for 550. That's nice. Harbinger. All right, I'll breeze through these. Crimson Coast. Yeah, that one I had up in another tab because this was Crimson Coast base set and Ghost LEs for 423. So not too surprising, really. Especially with those LEs being quite rare. Spanish Canoes. No. Yeah, Spanish Canoes for 31. Beowulf for 51. Yeah, these icebreakers are just really, really pricey. Yeah, Matt was talking about how the Boutrons for 71 and 72 is kind of cheap, so they're cheaper than usual. And then we get into the stuff that's still ongoing. So that's the stuff that's ended. And then there's stuff available right now too. Some of this will be changed since it ended, but yeah, Nautilus and Hephaestus going for over 75, ending by the time this gets posted. So yeah, I'll leave a link. I'll leave an affiliate link to my like default auctions link on eBay. So pretty interesting stuff. The Verdani, super rare from Frozen North, one bid at basically 60. So interesting stuff. There are some potential deals to be had, but probably most of the stuff is going to go up quite a bunch. So I think there's still some stuff for cheap in the auctions, but who knows what will happen over time, of course. So there's an interesting one. This one, it's getting expensive, but this one has like the Savage Shores 10 Masters and the different SEs from the set all in one lot. So that's a cool one. If you don't have any of those, the mega card stuff from Savage Shores, that's definitely one to check out. So, all right. So, crazy stuff on eBay. Fun times. Definitely some records set, especially with like the Frontier, the Spectre, I imagine, and some other stuff for sure. So, always fun to see. Frozen North is definitely getting really crazy. I mean, the fact that it's like competing with South China Seas for most expensive in various ways. I mean, some of those icebergers are going more for this than the Six Masters. Sometimes way more, because Cheyenne was like twice as expensive as one or two of those Six Master auctions. So just totally wild. I didn't really expect that to ever happen, but yeah, Frozen North, very high demand, very expensive. So now we'll get into like the regular segments or the scheduled segments of the blog. This was always going to be one of the longest ones, just because of the eBay review and then the news to cover. But now we'll get into like the default programming. So deal of the day. I've got a couple picked out just because I have no idea where these auctions are going to go. Hills Wholesale Gaming doesn't have any sales right now when I'm recording this. So deal of the day right now, I would say it's just those auctions I mentioned earlier a few minutes ago, where like Savage Shore Super Rare Pack is still cheap. And then there's some like 1 cent things being bid on that are cheap. Mont Blanc flotillas. So yeah, if you just go through the affiliate link I'll put in the description, you'll see some interesting stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't even see this. Yeah, there's some LE Frozen North crew. I'll check some of those out. I don't think some of these I didn't actually see yet. So I'll definitely watch those. The long ships will inevitably get kind of expensive, but yeah. So plenty of action still to be had on eBay for sure. So interesting stuff as usual. All right, let's move on. The other deal of the day, I want to provide like a non-eBay or non-auction option, especially in case all those just get completely crazy, which is possible, or maybe none of them will be like deals as I call it. So Rain Tiger I haven't really talked about that much. It's operated by user Mind from Miniature Trading. Totally trustworthy website. I bought from him probably twice, I think. Always a good time. And he still has a lot of good deals on commons and uncommons. So, for example, San Pedro is one of the best ships in Fire and Steel. And really one of the better Spanish ships in the game. +2 gold ability, great ship, good gold runner, solid hybrid. 3 in stock, $1.50 each. So, it sounds great. Great for gameplay. Not anything rare or anything, but I think still qualifies for a good deal of the day. And now we'll move on to card of the day. So I'll go 1 through 14 to include Return to Savage Shores. Set number 8 should be Frozen North, hopefully. I'm going to be rusty. Okay, yeah, it is. DDC is 6, so Frozen North is 8. So we'll go to number 303 probably, something like that, for that pack that we were just seeing. Yeah. Odin's Revenge 303. Yeah, that's real trivia. Can you name 1 through 14 what were all the sets numbered? And then can you name the max game piece number in each set? Fun trivia questions. All right, 10. All right, so I got to continue the trend of guessing what game piece. So number 10 should be a longship. I don't know. I just saw Fenrir on eBay. Maybe it's that one. Yeah. 10. So 0 and 0. I'm going to guess Woden, actually. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay, it is Woden. I feel like that kind of comes with an asterisk because I just saw one of those auctions on eBay and I have no idea if I saw like the card number or not. I didn't look at it on purpose, but this is kind of an asterisk in the guessing game in this blog history. So Woden is a weird one. She's got the gold capture ability built in. So 18 points, 2 masted longship, 5 cargo, which is awesome. L move, good cannons, and of course you'll shoot twice with each. with Longship, and then wins a boarding party, capture the crew, the highest gold cost, and then unload it for gold at your home island. So, interesting ability for a ship to have built into it. Not too many ships with that ability, certainly. Problem is, as a 2-master, even with any Longship, like, benefits with boarding, she's not going to be, like, super competitive with boarding because it's a small ship. So it's kind of a hard ability to take advantage of on a ship this small. It's just like, it's one of those things where, like, with a lot of Longships, even more so in this case, because you're paying 9 points per mast, which is a lot. You're going to be investing a ton of points into, like, a fragile ship that could be sunk really quickly and probably pretty easily by an enemy. It's going to be hard to get the first shot. You're not likely to be going much faster than L+S, unless you go, like, multi-faction and get a navigator in there. She's probably not going to have, like, an extraction generator of any kind on board. So it's not, for the Viking, it's not a terrible ship. Like, great cargo, good cannons, powerful abilities, but it's tough to, like, take good advantage of her or, like, use her effectively. And, you know, you're going to be investing at least 23 points with a captain helmsman, quite possibly more, I would say. She can be a decent hybrid. I guess the best you could hope for with the ability is either to, like, get lucky against, like, an enemy gunship and capture, like, a high value crew, or maybe if there's enemy gold runners in play that are also slow, you can hunt them down, but you're probably not going to get too many high point crew out of that. So not a great ship. Ranking out of 10, maybe like a 5 out of 10. I don't know. I think of, like, 6 out of 10 is average, so maybe realistically probably more like 4 out of 10. Gotta be honest about that point cost. I don't really dislike this ship. It's just, realistically, it's going to be pretty hard to use. It's not going to be competitive at all, and you're just paying a lot for something that's kind of likely to be sunk, like, really fast. So I don't want 23 points getting sunk on 3 hits. Not too often. So not a terrible ship. She's got some stuff going for her, but you're just paying a massive premium for a very fragile asset. So now we get into the pictures of the day, which are fun. So T26E4 posted this in the battle report. It's part of the Discord. Being a large French versus American battle that will likely wrap up a mini campaign I've been running. Americans are making the first strike against the larger French fleet. So I just wanted to check this out. I didn't look at this in full size either, so it makes it look even cooler. So I always like to bring attention to campaign games. Looks like he's got some homemade trade currents going on there. Tons of island chains. That's really fun. I kind of want to play a game more like this where there's, like, really tight maneuvering windows because of, like, connected islands. Usually I do it with terrain, but I haven't done connected islands in, like, a really tight setup like this in quite a while. So this actually makes me want to do that. Almost like a inland waters or, like, riverine type deal, or, like, really tight maneuvering situations. So pretty sweet. Got a lot of ships involved, so love seeing any kind of campaign action or bigger battles. So always want to bring attention to that stuff. Interested to hear how it may have ended, or if he's going to do more. So thanks for sharing. And just as a quick little additional picture, I played a game on International Tabletop Day with a couple friends in Washington about a week ago, and I used an all-windcatcher fleet. You can check out the link in the description below to see how the game went. I just kind of like the color contrast of these. I didn't realize how much I would like the aesthetic of the fleet until it was out and fully built. It was the first time I used HMS Mirage, and I liked how her white and, like, maroon red contrast against, like, the blue and white, the blue of the Ghostwalker, and then the Mystic behind there with the black and, like, parchment colored, sail colored sails. So fun game. It was an interesting game. Had most of what you want in a Pirates game in it, so it was fun. All right, so I encourage you to get on Tabletop Simulator. Check that out. Huge thanks to everybody who's making progress on that, has contributed to it, as well as the scan project. I got some of my new stuff from eBay. I should try to scan, because I think some of that might be new to the scan project. And question of the day, to wrap things up, is did you win anything from the recent eBay frenzies? And as a follow-on, you could say what you got if you want to share. And then obviously, like I said earlier, if there's anything that kind of shocked you in, like in terms of stuff that you thought would go for way less or way more, things like that. Any deals that you saw slipping through the cracks, maybe any auctions that ended that I missed or didn't watch that I'd be interested to know about too. So feel free to answer all those questions in the comments. Check out the links for the resources in the description. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that. And let me know what kind of videos you want to see me make later this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.